Suddenly, the door burst open. Pastor John, my husband, staggered in. His eyes was wild, filled with anger. His breath thick with the smell of alcohol. His anger was very palpable. A dark cloud filling the room. He grabbed me roughly by my arm, his fingers digging into my skin as he dragged me into the living room. His strength that day was terrifying. His grip was unyielding, unforgiving. "You are a worthless whore," he said to me, his voice very sharp as a knife. "I should have never married you. You are nothing but a body, a curse on my life." I felt a cold fear seeped into my bones. I tried to pull away, but he was too strong for me. He threw me down onto the couch, pinning me beneath him. His hands moved to my throat, squeezing tightly, cutting off my air. I struggled to breathe. My vision began to blur. The panic surged through me. Was this how I was going to die? Not even with a whisper, but in violent silence at the hands of the man I once loved. Is even a pastor. No, I said to myself. I couldn't let this be my end. Desperation gave me strength at that spot, and I clawed my hands at his face, catching him off guard as he screamed in pain. His grip loosened just enough for me to push him away, and I ran out immediately into the night. The rain that night was cold and sharp against my skin. Sincerely, I don't know where I was going to. I knew that I needed to get away from him before he kills me. My heart pounded in my chest as I ran down the street. The rain turning the world around me into a blur. My lungs burned. My legs ached. The fear prepared me for. Finally, I collapsed in exhaustion as the tears in my eyes was lost in the storm. A kind stranger found me there lying on the ground, half drained by rain and tears. He helped me to his car and drove me to the nearest hospital. The bright lights of the emergency room were stuck against my bruised skin, with doctors standing looking at me with a blend of shock and concern. That was the first sign of a world that still had kindness in it. The police arrived after, their questions very gentle but persistent. The truth spilled out of me with a flood of pain and fear. That moment, I felt the realization that I was finally seen. My husband, Pastor John, was arrested that night, despite his attempts to twist the story. The court battles were stressful. Pastor John, my husband, painted himself as the victim as usual. A man sabotaged by me, a crazy wife, oh no. Yet, the truth was as clear as the scars he has left on my skin, both physical and very emotional. He was convicted and sentenced to prison. And I thought that chapter of my life was closed. I never knew it was just the beginning of my worst nightmare. It all started innocently enough. I met Pastor John at a church revival in Lagos. He was very, very charismatic, with a booming voice that commanded attention and a presence that could fill any room. No matter who you are, you will be convinced that this man is truly a man of God. And before long, we were married. I was filled with hope and dreams of a life full of love, faith, and purpose. But things changed soon after the wedding. The man who had once been so full of love and warmth began to show another side, one that was cold, very strange, and very, very controlling. He was very violent as well. It started with small things. He would criticize the way I dressed. He would criticize the way I spoke. He would even criticize the way I cooked for him. His words were very sharp. They cut deeper than any knife could. I tried to brush it off several times, telling myself that he was just stressed from the pressure of leading a growing congregation. But the criticism soon turned into something very dark, darker than I even could imagine. One evening, after a particular long day at church, my husband, Pastor John, came home in a foul mood. I could sense it in the moment he walked through the door. His jaw was very set, his eyes cold and distant. I had already prepared his favorite meal, hoping to cheer him up as a wife should. But as soon as he tasted the first bite of the meal, he spat it out and threw the plate across the room. He felt splattering against the wall like a burst balloon. "What kind of rubbish is this?" he shouted at me, his voice shaking with rage. "You can't even cook a simple meal, right?" I stood there frozen in shock, my heart pounding in my chest. Before I could respond, he pounced on me, his hands very rough and unforgiving, as he shoved me against the wall. The force knocked the wind out of me. I gasped for breath as pain radiated through my body. "You are useless," he screamed at me, his face inches from mine, his breath hot and smelling of his stale sweat. "I should have never married you." That moment, tears filled my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. I had to be strong. I had to believe that this was just a feast. So I told myself that the man I married was still in there somewhere. But as the days turned into weeks, the abuse only got worse. Pastor John, my husband, was a master of manipulation. In the public, he was the perfect husband. very caring, very attentive, and full of praise for me, his wife. But behind closed doors, he was a monster. He controlled every aspect of my life. From the clothes I wear to the kind of friends I could see. He even went as far as isolating me from my own family, convincing me that they were a bad influence on me and that I needed to focus on my role as a wife. Now, lying on this hospital bed, bruised, I know better. The scars from the abuse lingered heavily on me. I flinch at sudden noises and voices. Nightmares haunted my sleep, replaying that night over and over again. My world felt unseen and very unpredictable. I felt like that was the end of it. Suddenly, an unexpected call came from the police officer that arrested Pastor John, my husband, my abusive husband. The news that my abusive husband was released, all charges was dropped, and he is heading home, gave me goosebumps. Fear gripped me once again. Maybe, just maybe this time, he will finally finish what he had started. I'm so confused. What should I do now? My family has not been talking to me for some time now. I don't have friends in the city. I need help. I need help.
Thank you so much for watching this video. We really appreciate. Thank you. Kindly smash the subscription button, subscribe to our channel for wonderful stories like this. Pastor, why would you be beating your wife? And madam, what are you still doing there? Run for your life, for crying out loud. How would a man of God be beating you and you are still asking us if you should run away from your home? Please run for your life. It is not a do or die affair. Thank you. Please listen and